Suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Sibiya will continue to testify before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria this morning. Earlier on Morning Live, crime researcher and analyst Tebang Bogopa had this to say about his testimony.
We did not expect a lot from General Sibiya. Remember, in another sitting, he exposed the fact that he did not even meet the minimum competency requirements to be in that position. Secondly, so much has been said around and about him. So he was trying his best to throw others under the bus. I'll just use that term. But he also exposed the structural failures within the South African Police Service, which is where I think the Commission should focus mostly. The multiple layers of control at the top, as well as the overlapping mandate. If you listen to yesterday's testimony, there's about 6 generals involved in the disbanding of the PKTT. The National Commissioner relied on 2 other generals to assist General Sibiya. General Sibiya relied on the head of the PKTT and the head of murder and robbery. Those are all 6 generals, but we still had the mess happening with 6 generals having overlapping mandate. I think that was a simple administrative issue that could have been done by 1 general. So those are the challenges that we are talking about to say. There's been a lot of overlapping mandates between the DNCs as well as the divisional commissioners and the provincial commissioners. Lastly, the task teams. Also, I think it's high time that the SAPS should have a proper national instruction regulating the task teams, particularly the disbandment, the process, the duration, so that it is a step-by-step process and no one can come and use it for political interest.
Now, suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Sibiya will continue his testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning. Let's cross over to Sakina and Canny now in Pretoria. Sakina?
Well, thanks, Leanne. And of course, just getting back to what's to be expected today on day 2 of the Commission's proceedings and day 2 for General Sibiya, that is. It is day 63 of the Commission's proceedings overall, Canny. And just looking forward to what will happen once the evidence leader, starts probing. And we know we've come to see how sharp these commissioners are. So it's going to be very interesting.
And once that deep probing questioning takes place, then we'll get a sense of what the real truth behind the conduct is. What is the nature of Sibiya's alleged relationship with alleged shadowy figures? I did say earlier that it would have been beneficial to have that precursor of Witness F's testimony, because the WhatsApp exchanges clearly was showing us the extent to which Sibiya allegedly enjoyed these close relations with these alleged cartel members. However, we don't have the remainder of that evidence, but what we do have is at the very least that Witness F was his alleged middleman in those communications, even though he claims to not know who these individuals are, or at least not know them to that extent. We've seen him deny having any knowledge of any drug cartels, even going to the extent of saying he doesn't know if he looks like someone that is rolling around with alleged drug cartel members. But what the cross-examination will do is get to the real true facts surrounding the events and what motivated his actions in SAPS with regards to the disbandment directive, why he immediately pushed for the implementation of that disbandment directive, why those immediate, yes, and why the dockets moved to Pretoria and just sat there for 3 months. We know he tries to hide behind the fact that a lot of those cases have been unsolved for some times, but Khumalo already explained the cold fridge method that was applied because of the kind of political pressure that followed these particular cases, but it still doesn't explain why those dockets were there. He claims to not have any possession of the dockets, but the messages prior to that show that he had a deep interest in what Khumalo and the PKTT were investigating, and he even expressed some form of paranoia that he was part of those investigations. And we know that the dockets were closing in on alleged cartel members. So why would a high-ranking SAPS official feel that an investigation that is pressed on alleged cartel members would be an investigation on him. He needs to answer why he thought that one meant the other. Questions like that are going to continue to emerge for Shadrack Sibiya. Of course, you're in that part of the testimony where he's giving his evidence quite freely, making his denials quite freely, and you see the commission leaving it there for now. And that is an indication to let you know that there are questions, but they're going to allow Sibiya to give his testimony as per the norm. But the questions are going to emerge either later today or from tomorrow, we can expect, because I think he's only halfway through his statement, which he's allowed to give uninterrupted. But those answers will be given by the time he gets off the stand on day 4.
And we did see, of course, the evidence leader, Advocate Adila Hashim, trying to push him along as speedily as possible, but of course also allowing him enough leeway to make his assertions there before the commission. But of course, this is where I'm going to leave it for this morning. Canny Maphanga is here throughout the day. Ayanda Nyati will be taking over with the agenda from 9 until midday. But from me here at the Madlanga Commission, back to you, Leanne.